on, Steve!
But to do this, we're having to go to a top-secret location, far away from the glare of the media spotlight. Let's face facts, MudMen is a worldwide hit, with an unprecedented amount of adoring fans. Steve's popularity has soared, with Deptford Rovers recently asking him to present their Under-15s Player of the Season award. But fame has come at a high price. It appears Steve has a stalker.
Hey, have you had any more of those letters?
I'll tell you the worst one of all.
What?
When I'd undone the envelope, I smelt where he'd licked it. It was llama saliva.
How do you know the smell of that?
I smelt it. I was at the zoo once. We'd done a course on it.
You've necked a llama?
No, I didn't neck a llama. I just knew about it.
Well, it's a llama that's stalking you. I've got to go and get Dr. Michael.
Well, don't be long. You always leave me for hours.
All right, well, don't get off with any llamas.
I need to bring Dr. Michael Lewis from the British Museum to our top-secret location. He's the deputy head of the Portable Antiquities Scheme, and so needs to record our finds. But what he doesn't know is that he's about to do that now.
Shh, don't freak out. It's time for the find sequence.
What's going on?
Just forget
what about the letter?
Forget the letter.
What are you doing? Put him down, you idiot!
Sequence.
God,
I got him. He's struggling in the cab.
Put him
Get him,
down.
Steve.
It's the doctor.
It's all right.
Oh, my God. Sorry, Mikey. He's a bit strange.
You put up a bit of a fight this time. Mike, it's OK, you're here now.
Come sit down. So, Michael, this is our Bankside table.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, straight away, there's all these kind of tokens that we've got here. This one's an interesting one because this is issued by a woman, which is not that common. Elizabeth, looks like it's join in Maid Lane, and it's dated, this one, 1667. So that's quite nice.
That would sound to me like maybe a brothel keeper. It's like a madam running something.
It doesn't matter whether I picked up the soul, you said also.
No, come on, it's in Maid Lane. And she's a woman issuing it. Who'd be a powerful enough woman in Maid Lane to start issuing those? I think she's a brothel keeper.
So, Michael, what else do you like on the table?
Well, there's lots of sport and entertainment things here on the table, which is really interesting.
That would suit the area, though, we were in.
It would. There's two pipes here with sporting themes. The first one here is this football being kicked with a boot.
Which I thought was brilliant.
It's beautiful, this one. It's
if you look, the boot's even got a heel on it as well. So it's not like they were playing football in just a regular shoe.
So that's a really nice one. And also what we've got here is one where we've got somebody playing rugby.
Yeah.
You can see someone running along with a rugby ball in their arm, and they've been tackled by someone underneath.
Can I say what my favourite thing is here? Not that anyone cares about my opinion at all. I love this. Rock got so excited about it. And you know I'm a big bottle fan. I love the whole story of the torpedo bottle. And I think this is just absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic, made by Stockner of London. I think that's brilliant.
What makes it rare, though?
The fact it's stone, it's earthenware, It's earthenware, they're only glass. Rock's never seen one of these before, an earthenware. Have you seen one before? Down on the actual farm?
No, my first one. This is the first one.
I think it's absolutely brilliant.
But it just shows you how rare it is. It's extremely rare. So, Michael, looking at the table, could you sum it up for us and then give us a quest?
Well, we've got loads of kind of entertainment and also sport-related stuff here. So I think it'd be really good to look at sport in Britain and how it's evolved over time.
I think that's going to be a great quest for us. Britain has given the world so much sport that I think we're going to be mining a very rich seam here.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Well, cheers then, Mike. You know how to get out.
Do I go that way?
I'm not carrying you out as well.
Cheers, mate.
I don't want to be carried.
If you go round there, you'll hit the road.
OK, all right then.
As I say, my job's just getting you here.
OK. Right,
be careful though, Mike.
All right, cheers.
You might be a target. Right, sport it is then, Steve. Pack this lot up, I'll have a little kick.
Coming up, Johnny goes a little bit psycho.
Just imagine it's like the zip on a boiler suit.
And Steve gets up close and personal with a pig. On the Thames foreshore, we've been on the hunt for historical gems by London's Bankside.
There's a guy lying on the floor and it looks like the runner's giving him a good kick in the boys in the barracks.
Now, Dr. Michael Lewis has sent us on a journey to discover more about Britain's sporting heritage.
So, this week's quest is to find out about the history and development of sport in Britain. We're going to start by finding out about the very early sports, the stuff way before rugby, cricket and football, and look into the origins of those. That's why Steve has dragged us to this artificial pitch built in 1994.
Yeah, but look at the patina on the AstroTurf. That's patina.
Steve, it's not very historical, is it? It's new, it's modern.
Yeah, I know, but I've lined up a doctor of sport over here. He's a real doctor of sport.
Steve, this is a guy in your pub who just knows about sport. They probably say he's like a doctor of sport, he is. Hello there, Johnny.
Good to meet you, Johnny.
You are?
Martin.
Martin, this is...
Stephen.
Good to meet you, Stephen.
Steve.
Vaughan.
Martin, we'd like to talk to you really about early sport in Britain. What's the first sport we really see people playing, and what sort of time?
Round about the sort of 11th, 12th century, there's written and visual evidence of games where people are hitting balls with sticks. So people say that's the origin of golf, or of cricket, or of hockey.
OK, that's 11th or 12th century.
Yeah, 11th or 12th
hitting
century.
balls. Nothing before that.
Well, obviously people would play games, people would run around, but the first time you really start getting visual evidence of it, written documents and pictures at the side of Bibles and things like that, would be around about that time. But you also, certainly by the 13th century, get big games of football. Where you've got town against town, parish against parish, village against village, playing what we would now call mob football, hundreds each side, no rules in our sense, but very definitely bearing some kind of resemblance to football.
So this is presumably moving a ball or object?
Yeah, typically it would be the doorway to the village church might be a goal, or a particular tree or a particular pub. In different places, obviously there are different rules depending on the locality. And some of the early written accounts talk about getting it there by force or by sleight, so by sleight of hand.
So this is just like the equivalent of war, really?
Yeah. Pretty much so, yeah. I mean, it's very clearly, it's a kind of, you know, proxy for war, isn't it? It's a substitute. When villages aren't going to war with each other, they channel it all into this kind of aggressive game.
How violent was it?
There's people getting their heads broken, people getting stabbed.
What do you mean someone's head broken?
They'd have staves, they've had sticks, and all the reports would say that many of the players retired with broken heads or broken pate.
That's so peasant, isn't it? No, he's had to go off. He's had to pull out today with a broken head.
It gets worse, it gets worse. People have their swords or their daggers at their belt still, and so people are running onto that and getting stabbed. I think it's important to stress that many communities, there would be one big regular game. Shrovetide, a Saint's Day, Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year. But obviously around the rest of the year, people would still have scratch games, just as we do now. But the important thing about rules is that there's no outside body telling them what they've got to do. It's just kind of, it's internal.
So, Martin, is it true that the first footballs were made of pig's bladders?
Well, they were, yeah. Pig's bladder, sheep bladder. These are agricultural societies, so that's something knocking around. They'd inflate it. If they had the money, they'd encase it in leather to make it last longer. But essentially, yep, it's just an animal's bladder.
Martin, thank you very much indeed for talking
to us. Good to meet you.
Thanks, Martin. It was really good.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. I've had a really good thought about those footballs.
What? What do you mean you've had a really good thought? You never have good thoughts.
If there's one thing I trust less than Steve, it's his ideas. Especially when those ideas include me getting my mud gear on and going to a sheep farm in Wales run by friendly farmer David Robinson.
So, why are you bringing me to this farm?
Well, do you remember in Series 1 where we took the sheep apart and we made condoms out of the intestines?
Oh, man, it's the most disgusting experience of my whole life. I go back there in my nightmares to that shed in Wales. Do you know what? I can still smell that methane. I can still smell it today. I still can.
Guess what?
What?
You're going to be smelling it again because we're going for the bladder.
No, 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 Steve. I'm not going through that again. No! No! All right, David, how are you, matey?
I'm fine, thank you. Hi, David.
It's nice to see you, but if I'm wincing slightly, it's not you. It's your friend. Steve, you'd like to go that side? You're better with animals and livestock.
This is a dead one, though.
This is a dead one. Now, you know, probably our research team have probably got in touch with you. We're looking for a bladder to make a football.
Yes. Well, here's the knife, and since you're doing all the talking, you better start.
But I'm the talker, he's the doer.
Right.
OK, well, where do I start?
The first proper footballs were made from sheep or pig's bladders, but the process had several stages. The bladders would be soaked in salt brine to toughen them up, filled with straw or beans, and then cased in leather to provide durability.
How far down am I going to go here?
Just imagine it's like a zip on a boiler suit.
Oh, no, things like that are so psycho. Just imagine it's like the zip on a boiler suit.
The world's oldest surviving football was discovered in Stirling Castle and dates back to 1540.
I've got to tell you, this isn't as... I don't know if it's just not as bad as the last time. I don't know if it's because we're... OK, maybe it is. OK, it is as bad. I'm getting that smell again. Oh, my God.
Look at that, Vaughan. Look, there's the bladder, and it's full of wee.
Yes! Yes! And it's really easy, it's really accessible.
Footballs relied on animal bladders for hundreds of years, until 1855, when Charles Goodyear designed the first vulcanised rubber football.
What time, Steve? Yeah. And I'm just thinking of grabbing the bladder and running. You know, that's probably how rugby starts.
Ooh, look at that down there.
Right, this is the bladder. This is the bit we need to get out intact.
OK, here we go. Ooh. And one of those little kids' mini footballs.
OK, that's
OK, there we go. OK.
Quick.
Done it. And hey, presto,
that's
we
what we're
have
after.
A shoes bladder. OK, so can we make a football out of this, do you think, David?
Well, I've never tried, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to blow it up and see what happens.
OK, let's go and do it. Let's do it. Right, so we've got our bladder now here. The question is how we're going to blow up. Now, as you can see here, if you come in here, the bladder is full of pee. Where's the urethra?
Yeah.
Is that it there?
Yeah.
Maybe I should squeeze it out. That seems to be that. OK, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Whoops.
Push it a bit more.
Go. Hang on. OK, go on. Hey! Well, that's football off today. Do you know what, Steve? There's no time for the peasant pursuit of football today, but there is still time for us to go and perhaps do some more sophisticated sports. With me, peasant!
See you later, Dave.
So we've been thwarted in our attempt to make a medieval football. But let us continue our quest to find out about the history of sport in more refined surroundings.
We've come down here today to Hampton Court Palace. It was built by Cardinal Wolsey, but used as a sort of leisure centre by Henry VIII. He came down here to enjoy all manner of aristocratic sporting pursuits. I'm really excited, Steve. As an outstanding sportsman myself, for me, this is a great experience.
Outstanding sportsman.
What's wrong with that?
What sports did you do?
I was good at frisbee, yo-yo.
Frisbee and yo-yo?
Yeah, I was also a good pool player. All right, well, I always beat you at whatever we play, and I bet I will today.
We've come to meet Hampton Court's real tennis pro, Nick Wood, who can tell us all about this most regal of sports.
We've been looking at peasant pursuits in terms of sport, but we've come here today really to look at more aristocratic sporting pleasures. So tell us about what happened here at Hampton Palace.
The royals would have taken part in things like jousting, tilting, archery, falconry, hunting, and of course real tennis.
Tell us about the origins of the game and a bit about it.
The game today, as we see it, hasn't changed since really about the 11th century. The origins, they were a street game where peasants would have played in and amongst the narrow streets of towns.
OK, so it was a peasant game it started off as?
Yeah. And then the nobility would like to get involved, and they soon started building their own courts or contriving areas within their houses to create a similar type of game.
So is real tennis, still the longest-running sport in England?
It has the oldest world championship, continuous world championship that's been played.
So it's the longest-running sport on Earth in terms of its continuity? In
terms of world championship, yeah, it's been competed for longer than any other sport.
Steve and I are intensely competitive, yeah? In every single episode of MudMen, we take each other on at something in your face. What makes a good real tennis player?
Anybody. Anybody can play real tennis.
Any age?
Local to them. Any age, yeah.
In the 60s?
How about you two? Yeah, you know, you could be fit and agile and athletic.
OK.
Well, that's me. What about you, Vaughan?
Yeah, very good.
It also takes a certain amount of guile and experience and wisdom.
OK, listen, without further ado, let's get there, Steve. Yep. Let's do battle. You're going down, Brooker. You're going down.
You know I'm going to win.
The name tennis is thought to come from the French custom of calling out tenez, meaning receive before serving.
Come on, bring it in for the real thing.
Royal interest in real tennis began with Henry V, but it was Henry VIII who made the biggest impact as a young monarch, building a great number of courts, including one at Hampton Court in around 1532.
Jump sausage! Thou canst not be serious! Thou canst not be serious!
It is believed that Henry's second wife, Anne Boleyn, was watching a game in Whitehall Palace when she was arrested.
That's how you do it. That's how you play real tennis, yeah? I'm keeping it real, yeah?
While legend has it that Henry was playing a game at Hampton Court when news was brought to him of her execution.
Out of court?
Out of court, yep.
Nice ball.
Go on! In your face! In your face! Brooker, loser, loser, loser. I mean, I'm not one to gloat.
Coming up, we show off our sporting talents Victorian style.
There's more than one way to pet a pig. In your face, Steve.